all this work done. She went to the hospital and had a scan done and everything else, and they found nothing. So I'm listening to, I believe it was Alex Jones one day on GCN, and he was talking about aspartame, and he mentioned the side effects of it. And so I walked over, opened up the refrigerator, and here her yogurt had aspartame in it, and her Diet Coke, or she was drinking, Diet Coke had aspartame in it. So it hit me like a sledgehammer, and actually that's what it was. She got off of it, and she detoxed from it. We've been taking natural, stuff, and she's fine now. But that's, think about one way that aspartame can kill you. You don't even think about is you're driving down the road, you just lose your vision.
Well, basically, that's really gratifying to know that, the message is getting out. Certainly Betty should be congratulated. She goes, she's tireless at her efforts, and certainly Alex is doing a great job getting the information out. A lot of the talk shows are getting the information out. And I think more and more people are learning, but I want you, Bob, to tell everybody you know. Certainly you tell our audience, but talk to people. And then tell them, boy, I'm so glad I was listening to these programs that'll tell you the truth, rather than to the media, which is controlled by the people who really do want to depopulate the world. And simply talk about depopulation. Talk about the fact that it's not stupidity. It's got nothing to do with profit. Don't let them sell you on that. These are wicked and evil people who relish doing damage to people and to children. When you went, do we need to emphasize the children part? They love to talk about the children. We ought to be doing the same thing. Betty, your response.
Well, first of all, the blindness is because of the free methyl alcohol, which converts to formaldehyde and formic acid in the retina of the eye and destroys the optic nerve. So many people have actually gone blind from aspartame that they took this all the way to the Supreme Court. And the reason that it wasn't banned was they say it had something to do with a corrupt judge, so they get to all these people. And the sad thing about it is that Dr. Morgan Rayford, who tried to get Congress to do something about it, said that if vision is still in the wet stage, that people can regain their sight. But if they are not warned, then it's too late, and they'll be blind all their life. So think of the millions of people today who are blind on aspartame, and if they only knew to get off of it, that they could see again. And some years ago, when Return to Eden, an organic market and health food store, gave out killer cola brochures, people were reading it and getting it off and walking out of wheelchairs, and fibromyalgia disappeared, MS disappeared. And I opened the door one day and a woman fell in my arms and said, I was blind and today I can see. What an evil thing, blinding the world. And this is all discussed in Dr. H.J. Roberts' medical text, 1,000 pages. And there is a chapter on blindness. And even
Betty, let me just put in a plug. We carry that great big book, Aspartame. I think that they forgot disease, something like that. We carry 2 books by Dr. Roberts. You need to get these books. You need to get Russell Blaylock's book. You need to get the 4 tape sets. You need to get the DVDs. You need to help us spread the message. And then my little pamphlet, The Population Control Agenda, copy it, get it into people's hands. Understand they want to kill people. These people make Adolf Hitler look like a piker. Go right ahead, Betty, and then we'll let Bob go. We're going to have to do a little work here before we get to the next hour. And if you're out there in the listening audience, you give us a call at next hour, 1-800-1888-24-LIBERTY, 1-888-24-LIBERTY, or 464-8295. But Betty, you hang on there. Bob, anything you want to say before we let you go?
Well, I just want to thank Betty for what she's doing and what you're doing, Dr. Stan. And believe me, after that episode, I've done my research. I might know about half of what Betty knows, but I've studied that drug for a long time, and I know all about it. And I warn people. I see anybody with it, I'll walk up to them in the store, I'll tell them what's in it. I go into people's houses, I tell them about it. I mean, I'll do everything I can.
Oh, bless you. They've actually mass poisoned the world, and that's all that we can do. We have operations now in 42 nations of people working free, trying to warn people so they can stay alive.
Okay, hang on there, Betty, and we'll be back with Betty Martini during the next hour. She's good enough to stay with us. Well, this is the time. We have to remind you, Radio Liberty is primarily listener-supported, and we need your help, basically. We've got to finance stations. We've got 60 outlets a week, and believe me, it's an expensive proposition. And incidentally, we will be changing our shortwave back. I think the afternoon program is going to go to 7.465, and that will be the 27th of this month. Our evening program is going to move as well. But it's very, very close to what it was, and we'll have it posted on our webpage. So then that is on the 17th. Our evening program changes. The other program changes on the 27th. Well, certainly this is the time I need to remind you my programs are listener-supported, because I mentioned shortwave, because it costs $5,000 a month just to stay on shortwave, and it's really a terrible drain on us. But we do what we do, and it costs $500,000 a year to run this ministry, and God's provided it so far. We've been able to keep going, and I don't take a salary. My wife doesn't take a salary. We don't even get free meals off of this, but if you're out there in a position to help us, please join the Radio Liberty family by calling 1-800-544-8927. 1-800-544-8927. 1-800-5HIV-WAR. That's how I remember it. But if you're not in a position to help us, please pray for Radio Liberty, our provision and protection, because on the other side is organized evil. And when you understand that, if you haven't read my book, Brotherhood of Darkness, you need to get it, you need to read it. You need to understand that we're up against people, many of them who actively worship Lucifer. And of course, Lucifer, if you get in good with him, he'll provide you with lots of money. That's why so many of these people are fabulously wealthy, but it'll cost you your eternal soul. Don't even think about dabbling in this sort of thing. You need to get our four tape sets on Aspartame. You need to get our DVDs, Sweet Misery and Sweet Misery. They're two different DVDs. You need to get Dr. Roberts' books. We've got a great big one. We've got a small one. We've got Dr. Blaylock's book, Excitotoxins, The Taste That Kills. You need to get the information. You need to go to Betty Martini's website, doorway.com. There's only one O in Doorway, and Betty's got several websites. Excellent material. And then you need to help us get it out. You've got to be out there letting everybody you know, go up and down the aisles in the grocery stores, telling people about the poison that's in the ready-prepared food. And when they talk about natural sweet and natural flavoring, that's usually aspartame or MSG. If you haven't read Russell Blaylock's book, Health and Nutrition Secrets That Can Save Your Life, he goes into all the ways they lie to the people. They lie to the people and let people know about Wrigley's gum. It's got a deadly poison in them. Is the aspartame still in Smucker's products, Smucker's jam, Betty? Betty Martini, I guess she must have hung up, but we'll get the answer in the next hour. We'll just be talking to her shortly. Betty's agreed to be with us the second hour, so you can give us a call. But basically, last thing, I knew it was in Smucker's. It's in so many of the ready-prepared products. You got to start learning how to begin preparing your own food, how to begin to protect your family, because if you don't, why, of course, you're going to do irreparable damage. So remember our telephone number, 1-800-544-8927. Please pray for Radio Liberty. And pray for Alex Jones, too. He's not been well.